Hey everyone, it's the Sith Justice Warriors coming at you on a Sunday evening with your co-host Jaded Fan and Princess Lumpia.
Hey everyone, we made it to another week.
And we did our usual one on time, so I think we got
Yes,
to give ourselves
we have to
some
give
credit, right?
ourselves credit. Passion projects and all.
Yeah.
But no, thanks, fan, for that. I'm going to kick it off because I want to get actually more time with you on the nitty gritty, which is the latest Falcon and Winter Soldier recap. But first, I didn't want to miss out on this piece of new news that a lot of sources are reporting. But basically, Comic Con has announced that there will be an in person convention on Thanksgiving weekend as a like sort of special edition gathering. Even though they made the announcement earlier that it would be virtual in July, the typical timing of Comic Con. Um, the cool part is it's Thanksgiving weekend. Everybody knows like everybody's off around that time in the United States. So it's going to make it easier. The question will be like, how do you manage something like that indoors? I know they're hoping that the conditions will permit it and that everyone gets vaccinated, whether that's your thing or not. But at least like it's a good sign because it's a sign that we're hopefully moving in the right direction. That they've announced something like that. We have yet to see other places. I know there are some music festival venues that are starting to announce things as well. So we'll keep up on that. And in other news, movie theaters, and I think we mentioned it before, are reopening. Regal is reopening a few in April. So again, just something to keep an eye on because it's just positive news, especially in the wake of a lot of things going on today in the world and us still tackling life in this sort of in between of COVID, so to speak. But besides that, um, because that was pretty much like the biggest thing. Last week or this week, really, this past week, the Suicide trailer, the Red Band trailer dropped. I wanted to get your thoughts, fan, first before I dive in. Tell me what you thought about it.
The Suicide Squad, right?
Yep.
I it's it's actually not bad. I think if this was Suicide Squad 1, I probably would have watched it. So that's a I think it's I think the James Gunn take on it is for better or worse, it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy but darker.
Yeah.
Um I Idris Elba reminds us that his talent was wasted as Heimdall. um I guess they decided to make Margot Robbie her Harley Quinn look like uh, a little bit closer to the Harley Quinn that a lot of fans like. The ones that, quite frankly, I'm going to be brutally honest, that like the female.
Yep.
Sorry, but that's what it is. And as always, I really got to say this, but Sirius needs to be here. Like John Cena is a fantastic actor. I don't understand why he hates John Cena.
No, but his line made me laugh because, in a weird way, only John Cena could pull off a line like that. He basically was being asked if he would eat a box of penises, and he was like, "For America," or whatever. For what's
Freedom.
it? He's like, "For America, I would." Yep. Yes, sir.
No, but it's kind of like how Ant-Man, I know this is a completely different one. Like it's kind of like how Ant-Man would suck up to Captain America's like that's America's ass.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like
Exactly.
obviously more of a rated R, like what I shit talk to my boys type of thing.
Yeah, and I agree with you when you said it felt like to me, as soon as the music started playing, it had this James Gunn vibe already. And even some of the jokes, it's like in his humor. So I'm looking forward to it actually because like I know it's gonna be gory and everything. Like you said, it's like a little bit of a darker sort of take on Guardians, but I think in its own right, it'll be a little bit different. And I still had to get my mind wrapped around Deadshot versus what was the other guy's name?
Bloodsport.
Blood.
No, Idris Elba is Bloodsport. Will Smith is Deadshot.
Oh God. Okay. So yeah, I had to get my mind wrapped around
And
that.
then also Batman's Deadshot. Well, the Deadshot that was supposed to be in the Ben Affleck Batman was a different Deadshot. Not Will Smith Deadshot, I thought.
Yeah, something like that. Because Joe Manganiello, I'm butchering his name, but he plays that character, I think. So anyway, we'll dive into that later. But that was just a bit of DC news, and it's moving in the right direction. It's positive, but as we all know, at least I'm hearing a lot of reviewer bombs of the Warner Brothers King Kong and Godzilla movie because they're so unhappy with the Snyderverse not coming to fruition. But I don't know. One never knows. One never knows. I mean, who would have ever thought an extra few minutes would change the world? But it seems like it did. Anyway,
Wait. You said extra few minutes with the Snyder Cut, right?
well, it's actually extra few hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta correct you on that. I was like few minutes.
Well, yeah, I still have not seen it because I haven't set aside 4 hours. Honestly,
Yeah, I was gonna say like someone was Zach. Zach was doing a review for every hour because it's that
oh my
long.
gosh! And how do you remember what happens every hour?
I guess he stops it. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but there are people that are these diehard Zack Snyder fans, and then I just 4 hours of DC. This isn't like Avengers where so you had Infinity War and Endgame, right? At least if you call that 4 hours, that's the equivalent. But we had 10 years building up to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was fine. But they broke it up too. I mean, Endgame was broken up a year after?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I
I
mean,
digress.
no, but even then, like you said, it's a little bit of yeah, it's just a little bit. It's like I do appreciate a lot of the YouTubers that have side by side. It's like here's the edited and here's the Snyder cut.
Oh geez, no, they did
So
not.
I mean, I will say certain scenes look a lot better with the Snyder version, but typical Snyder, right? He really extends the moment. Think of 300, how someone would swing a sword. Like that one scene where Wonder Woman is in the bank and, basically, protecting the people. I didn't even know there were people in there, but in the Snyder cut, you focus on the people, and then how she threw the bomb out in the air, and in the original theatrical release, it just blew up. But in the Snyder cut, of course, she flew up with the bomb, threw it up, and it's like a really slow motion of her hand throwing it up into the air. And then the thing going all the way up in slow motion. You can see why it ended up amassing an extra few hours.
So, in other words, Zack Snyder is following anime, where like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, there's this long extension of a moment where it's oh, and that was just one scene. But if I recall 300, it was like that. There were just these grandiose moments in the movie where like Leonidas would swing a sword and you would see his muscles move as he's moving the sword through the air, you'd see the sweat beads, that kind of stuff. That's Zack Snyder to me. That's what I think of Zack Snyder.
That was Gerard Butler, right?
Yes.
Does everyone know that Gerard Butler sang an opera, The Phantom of the Opera?
Oh my God, he was so great in it.
I'm sure everyone on this podcast doesn't give a crap about musicals and operas, though.
But I mean, that was surprising. Actually, what's funny is, another guy was in that movie that we don't really think about is Patrick. What the heck is his name? He was the brother of Aquaman in that movie. His name is Patrick something Wilson. Patrick Wilson. He played the opposite of Gerard Butler. But anyway, Raul. He played Raul.
Anyway,
So on to the nitty gritty, which was the latest episode of, and we are going to enter spoilers now. So you could probably shut us off at this point unless you've seen it. Probably a lot of people have seen it before me because I decided to watch it today because things were just busy and I'd have it fresh in my mind. But I'm glad I did because it really was where I thought the first one was kind of sad, like, oh my god, like this is like reality. It's not as glamorous as you think Avengers is. But this one was just action packed, and I love the banter between the two of them because they finally caught up with each other. So this was actually, of the two, to me, the stronger episode. But Fan, what are your thoughts?
again, from Friday, I say that I'm a very shallow person, and this was the way that if a TV series is to make me understand the character, because you draw out the emotional pieces where you're not always fighting or chasing something, but rather you're trying to talk through and see through their eyes. This is it, and I kind of wish this was the first of the two between Wanda and Falcon Winter
Yeah,
Soldier.
it was supposed to be, remember?
But maybe it's better this way because the bar was set so low. Well, it's not low, but it was pretty low, right? We talked on Friday about kind of the weird, looking back and oh, Wanda was a hero, but she's really not a hero. Where this one is just kind of straight up, you know, two guys coping with their buddy. I just wonder if it's like their buddy died and someone took their buddy's name and they're just trying to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I this is the way for me. That's why I say that I'm probably a shallow person. And number two, I'm very biased because I love these thriller type of, you know, Born Identity and James Bond. That sort of feel of your globe trotting to stop this conspiracy or this you know the band of terrorists. Like that's sort of like the Jack Ryan series. I don't know if you got to watch that on Amazon.
I have not, but I've heard so many good things about
Season one was so good. Season two is a little bit meh for me, but it was still good. Like it's that type of Jack Ryan-y type of feel with superheroes. They had their moment though, where you go to this place in Baltimore, and I don't know if you see where I'm going with this.
Yep.
You go to Baltimore. There's this guy named Isaiah,
Yep.
and then as they walk in, you're seeing Isaiah from the back of his head. I'm like, wait a minute, who's Isaiah? Who's Isaiah? Wait, is this a guy? Is this a? And somebody's got to tell me who he's supposed to be because he's supposed to be important. He took on the Winter Soldier back during the Korean War, and he's a super soldier himself. But I had no idea. They made it sound like I should know Isaiah.
I don't know Isaiah, but I think he was from the comic books.
So he really is a person?
I do think that. I have to double check, but I believe he is part of that Winter Soldier program. The thing is that it's interesting because Captain America thought that he was the only one. But the problem is that he was not. They kept going with these freaking experiments on people, and you see the effect it had on this guy Isaiah. And he is from the Story of Truth, Red, White, and Black, which was a 7-issue miniseries that was written by Robert Morales. And it was about, the U.S. government's attempts to compete with the super soldier program. And so, yeah, it's actually, it's interesting because it's, they re-engineered the lost super soldier formula that turned Steve Rogers into Captain America through the murder of and forced experimentation on 300 Black Army soldiers.
Oh.
So, that's crazy because, this is serious stuff. These people were like
Probably forced.
yeah. So
Well,
like
they put him in a jail too. Like, he was describing like he was put in like
yeah,
not
just
jail, but
being
like
experimented on by both, I guess, the government and Hydra agents. So both of them, um, and it's just interesting because like it's like the the ugly baby of the government in this realm of Marvel, and so like it's sad that like yeah, it was just sad. Like, but yeah, I think he was important in that sense. Like, but
yeah, you have to be a Captain America like aficionado to pick that out. I'm more normie, so it didn't click to me.
it didn't click to me either. Of course, I had to look it up, but yeah,
The other thing too, what was I gonna say? The other thing too, okay. I get it that the what is the I was gonna call them the Black Hand. This little group of
the red hand or
that's
whatever.
it. Yeah, yeah. It looks like they have a mask where like in Lord of the Rings where the Uruk-hai
Yes, they made me think of them with their
yeah.
long hair.
Yeah, so you know what was funny was the leader, the super soldier was this like if you compare her to the rest of the group, she's like the tiniest one. What's her name? Lauren or whatever. I was just kind of laughing about that a little bit, but I was like, okay, I see you're just you know, I see where you're going. But it's fine. She's clearly oh, that was another thing. That scene where they're on the plane, they're trying to run away with whatever vaccines or medicines they stole, and then the one guy's like, I'm gonna hold them off. Like, no offense, but all he did was like buy them 5 seconds.
I know, I was gonna say that, and I'm like, and honestly, a part of me thinks that that serum wears off on them.
It
And
must be,
and
yeah.
I was wondering, like, was the containers that Bucky thought was like viruses or whatever, not viruses, he called them
Vaccines.
vaccines, which is kind of funny. Was that really the super soldier serum that they were stealing or what? But their whole goal is to make it like basically equivalize everything such that it was like before the snap. Well, what the heck does that mean?
Well, they want to get rid of. They want a one. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm going to be saying this. They want a one world government.
Oh,
I.
okay. Well, that's
That's I don't want to get into that, but they literally say we want a one world government with no borders, and I'm like, oh god. There's a lot of people that have a lot of things to say about that comment, but yeah, I mean, but I have to say that's what like Captain America, Winter Soldier, that sort of thing talks about these things where like, for example, Winter Soldier, the AI algorithms that pick out if you are not even a threat to Hydra, but a potential threat in the future. They talk about that stuff. It's very interesting considering today's age. Maybe we should leave it at that.
yeah, considering it is, like I said, it is interesting, and it's kind of hits close to home in the sense of the vaccines, if it was vaccines, but part of me thinks it wasn't. So the part that, like I said, I really enjoyed the scene between the two of them in jail when they
God,
had to like they had to face each other and look into each other's eyes, and they were having a staring contest. Like, they're just such great like bros. And I think the biggest thing that was interesting that I don't know, call me a skeptic, but the guy who is now the new Captain America, John Walker, and his sidekick battalion, it's kind of funny because they're literally the mirror image. They're the mirrors of Bucky and Falcon.
Or the mirror of Steve and Sam Wilson.
Yeah, it could be. Yes, that too. But what's interesting is that this guy, he seems like, at least the way they're initially portraying him, like a really good person who doesn't really want the mantle but has no choice. He's a decorated soldier. At least it seems. and he's hesitant to take on the mantle, but he's taking it on because I don't even know if he has the serum, but they said his body was tested by MIT.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he has to be
and
like,
how can he wield the shield the way like Captain America throws the shield? And I don't know. I like that they finally addressed the whole why did you give up the shield thing to Falcon, because Bucky called him out on it and basically said like why did you give it up? Like he didn't want, meaning Steve. This isn't what Steve wanted. He wanted him Falcon Sam to pick up the mantra, and then they went and chose someone else. And like I said, the guy is not a bad person, but it's interesting because they're teaming up now to solve this sort of case.
if you want to
But
call it that, it's like this
yeah,
uneasy alliance.
this uneasy alliance, because I don't know that they trust each other. And I love the line that Sam says when John says to him, you know, it'd be great for Captain America to have his sidekick by his side, and Sam basically says, "Well, that's the line. That's
Yeah,
the line I always hear, sidekick, like because he's always the sidekick but never the star." And like it's true, and it's kind of sad, and like I really appreciate that they kind of called that out, so to speak. And what I'm waiting for is for us to find out that John is not a good person. I don't know why, but
see, but I think he'll turn into a bad person because he kept trying really hard to get those two to go on board with him,
yes.
but then he just decided, "F it, I tried, just get out of my way."
Yeah, basically, because they
Like,
both were like, no.
but the thing is, like, because you started out with this idea that he really, he wants to serve the country, so
Yeah.
he'll do it. But it's like, he probably would do the John Cena thing too. I, um, the John Cena.
Yes, I know. I know.
Okay, God, I really did ruined that delivery. The idea though is that it's starting to weigh on him because number one, he just got his ass kicked. Like Steve would never get his ass kicked
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
especially by the leader of the group. Nah, let me rephrase that. But the thing is that this series makes me understand why, like, Sam's reason for giving up the shield was so simple. I just thought it was the right thing to do.
Yep.
Like, I understand why he hates it, but he also sort of semi lives with it, the
Yep.
decision he made.
Yep.
I understand, like, Bucky's the one we've had a journey with, so of
Yes.
course we understand where he's coming from. And like the John Walker thing, the way it was so good that they made him start out that way, because if he is the bad guy, if he as the US agent is an antagonist to the two,
Yeah.
I understand, because like I actually understood like the reason why he just said F off then was like he kept trying to get them to go on board, and I understand why they don't want to do it, but it's just like he's just like he's like F it, then just stay out of my way.
Yeah. And like you said, you're right. Maybe his passion for protecting the country is going to lead him to do something that's the turning point for his character. Of like, as we all have seen before in movies or in books we read, like you're chasing down this dream with good intentions, but how you get there could be suspect. And so I think, I don't know, that's why I said I'm waiting for like the sky to fall and like we find out that he's not who he says he is, or he's not who we think he is. But it again, it's something we're just gonna have to see. But cue to the towards the end, and you finally get to see Zemo in prison, and they're basically heading there to talk to him.
Can they make him Loki like the interesting thing is I was looking at him in prison and I'm like, this guy is a smart guy. Now
Yeah.
he's not like Loki smart. Like Loki is a different level, but can they make him like a realistic, like kind of like the James Bond villainish person I can really manipulate and make the margins work in his favor?
Yep.
Because that's the villain that they would need. Because I don't. Because Zemo. What if Zemo's the one orchestrating? That'd be so cool. Like somehow, in prison. Like, you know how Kingpin did all that stuff in Daredevil
Yep.
in the
Yep.
prison?
He did them for, you know, like before the woman, okay, right? We're talking about before the woman.
Yeah, well, that too, but I'm saying like how he was the manipulator from prison. So
Yes.
that was after Vanessa.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Okay.
even though still he still was manipulating things from prison.
Yes, he was pulling the strings. Yep.
Like that would be interesting. I doubt it because the thing about Zemo is that the way they did it was that he was not Hydra, but rather he was a guy who tracked Hydra to get the like to punish the Avengers. It's just they made it kind of different. So I wonder if then like the prison he gets indoctrinated to Hydra. I know Hydra's dead, but it's never really dead. So that'll be interesting to me because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like there's Lady Hydra, there's Hydra Bob.
Yeah. And
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm just Hydra Bob is the
for
Hydra Bob is the
Deadpool.
perfect person to bring Deadpool in there.
Exactly. No, but I think what's interesting, like you said, is that like Zemo somehow gets out of jail. So is that the deal they strike with him? We'll get you out so you can help us crack this case. Because we all know he ends up putting the mask on. Like, so, and, you know, is that towards the end or is that, like, is he kind of the Hannibal Lecter here?
That's the perfect way to put it.
You know what I'm saying? And that this is the deal he strikes with them. Get me out of here. And, you know, I will help you because I know the answer to the question.
And I could very well be hyping up this guy because
Well, not as much as people hyped up these super powered beings that they were fighting. You know, everyone was on this like tangent a couple weeks ago where they were like, oh my God, is this how they introduced the X-Men or mutants? The ideas of mutants, these superpowered beings that they're fighting on the truck.
oh god, or how about astrophysicist named Reed Richards?
Exactly.
We're
So
never giving
yeah,
to you people, was it you publications who made you peddled these lies. I will never forgive you for that. Ooh,
oh,
Reed Richards. Reed
I've
Richards.
noticed they've shut up, honestly, ever since that.
Mephisto?
Oh,
Mephisto?
Mephisto, yes, Mephisto is the Quicksilver character.
God,
Yes.
fucking excuse my language. Like,
No, but you know, no kidding. Like I've noticed they've been pretty mum. They don't go beyond what's given. So
they gotta stop with the X-Men thing. They because the WandaVision in my head was the perfect way to just open the door for it. So this bar better be higher, extremely higher than that, because I don't know how else you do it.
Yep.
And what you gonna just trot out skinny Hugh Jackman? Like, come on, Hugh Jackman's got one left in him.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Oh,
And then kill him. No, he already died. Never mind. What the heck?
who?
I'm like, have Wolverine for one more and then kill him. And then I'm like, wait, he died in Logan, so never mind.
Oh, but we could
But
always time
technically
travel.
Logan was in the future.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was in the future after. But then there could have been some Nexus thing that brings the other. See, again, you had a multiverse. You could have brought it through, and God, that's what I'm saying. Kevin Feige better have the greatest hat trick rabbit in freaking up the sleeve or whatever you want to call it. Like that's how discombobulated I am. Like I just don't know because you just said that these people on the truck led by the scary people with the Urukai face mask.
Yes, the Urukai face.
Yeah, and I'm just like, how could you get the X-Men from that? I'd like to know how you got that. But then,
Exactly.
I mean, other than that, I mean, you covered everything that I have, and I think for me, I'm a very shallow person, so that's why this is.
No, but I enjoyed this one. You know, I wasn't as hype as you as the first episode, but this one was like, all right. And the way they ended it with Zemo, I was like, yep, I'm there. I'm there. So, anyway.
So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. be on time. So with that said, if you like our content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications as we drop more content. Also note that we are on Twitter, and at Justice Sith is our handle. And look out there for more updates as we try to put things together for the new year. So till then, see you on the Sith side.
Bye.